Welcome back, everybody. How's everyone going?
2 weeks. That was too long. 2 weeks was way too long without being here.
I'm sorry. I mean, what can I do about it?
It's
I
good to be
mean,
back. It's good to be back though.
Hey, Don Garber. Hey.
yeah.
Uh,
Hey, hey, we need you to stop doing these weird schedules. Um, we're glad we're back. I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad you guys are here with me.
mhm.
Me, Alan, Marcos, Christian. We're here to talk more RSL, talk more soccer. But flip. Last week was just a joke, wasn't it?
All good things have to come to an end, and it was that time.
They don't have to come to an end, but they do.
They do.
I think that's just the way nature works. That's
Yeah.
the way the universe works. All good things must come to an end to start again the cycle.
Mm.
Whether it's dating, whether it's soccer, it all has to come to an end in some way or another.
Okay, chill out there, Socrates. Chill out. Um, so we're gonna talk about a couple of RSL games. We're not gonna go all the way back to Montreal because just because we missed that review, we're not gonna go all the way back there. For me, that was a boring 0-0 draw. I don't know about you guys. That's
Yeah.
our analysis.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go over last week's KC game. We're gonna go over the Galaxy game that just happened, and then we're gonna get into some other RSL topics that we have. Each of us have a little bit of something we want to share, and then because we love tournaments, we're gonna get into maybe just a little bit of Euros because I mean I'm I'm I mean I like Copa more, but we'll get into a
Yeah.
little bit more international ball. So let's uh let's talk about actually I just want to check Indy with you guys. Christian, how are
Mm.
you? Are you doing all right?
I'm here.
You are.
So I'm here. I'm tired.
Oh, well, I would say
You can't hear it in my voice. I'm tired. It's been a long week.
and I can see it in your drink. I don't even know what you're drinking, but
This is sparkling pineapple juice from Trader Joe's.
ooh,
There's no
Ooh.
caffeine. It's just sparkling pineapple juice because I like pineapple.
I was like,
pine,
it sounds delicious.
It's nice.
do you know what pineapple juice reminds me of? A quick side topic. Pineapple juice reminds me of when abuelita would use the pineapple juice left over at the pizzeria.
Mm.
And she would like use it to and she'd drink straight from either the can or she'd pour it into a
Uh,
cup. Anyways, that's what
I'm
pineapple
not gonna
juice
lie.
reminds me of.
I could just drink straight pineapple juice like by
What a
Oh,
itself,
national treasure.
right? Right.
Abuelita, not you.
also.
Shout
She's a
out to
treasure.
Abuelita.
Oh my gosh. Marcos, how are you?
No, this summer you can't ask for any. It's been amazing. Soccer, and more soccer. It's
Oh,
been absolutely amazing.
you've had an amazing summer. That's great. Good for you. I am so happy for you. Um, I get to well, I get to. Tomorrow is Ale's first tournament.
Oh,
And
that's right.
so
That's
8
exciting.
8 a.m. tomorrow.
yeah, that's early.
Here by home or traveling?
No, it's by home. Yeah, it's
Nice.
over at the junior high nearby our house. So
Ooh.
this is gonna be fun.
What
I
what is he
might
playing against 9-year-olds?
yeah, they're playing against older kids. So it's gonna be
I,
eek.
I I better see some videos or some Marco Polo something.
We'll get something together for you. No worries. No worries. And I think Marcus is going tomorrow night anyway. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. But enough of us and our personal stuff. Let's get into a little bit of this of RSL. So we're gonna go over this Kansas City game, guys. This Kansas City game was absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys thought, but Marcos, we'll start with you. Give me your initial thoughts on this whole game.
Yeah, since it was a midweek game, McMath sat out. Beavers, he's usually the midweek keeper, and he filled in for McMath. Crooks, he was off getting hitched, so
Hmm.
Barajas filled in. So congratulations to good old Matty Crooks for getting hitched. And we had our injuries with our back line. So Quinton was with Vera, and then Oviedo on that right side, Brody on that left side, and then the same everywhere else. So I felt pretty happy. I was like, nothing to worry about here.
Well, I mean, it ended up being a lot more crazy than what we thought. Christian, your thoughts?
I mean, solid midweek lineup. Obviously, some good rotation going on there with the crew. Um, I mean, Gomez, Luna, and Beavers played their lights out, and Julio, all four of them, absolutely lights out, fantastic. Disappointing in the middle of the field, and that's obviously where Sporting just drilled into was the middle of the field.
Hmm.
And it became a veritable shootout. Overall team performance, I'd I'd give it a C plus. Just kind
Oh,
of
mm.
Yeah, that's
mediocre, not great, especially at the level the team's been performing to. Even in comparison to the LA game, I'd even say we played better in LA,
Hmm.
except for
yeah,
finishing.
that's definitely respectable. Obviously Gomez having a brace in this one. I would say besides Gomez, my man of the match was definitely was Beavers, because Beavers coming up huge, having a PK save on Johnny Russell. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but Johnny Russell before the PK was drinking out of the water bottle, and on the water bottle says which way each shooter takes it. And I don't think Russell saw that. So good on Beavers to stick to which side he was going to go to.
That's crazy.
It was satisfying too because Johnny Russell loves to score against
Hmm.
RSL, and to
Yeah,
watch him get denied. Oh,
I was like,
I think there were moments in that game where I felt like the old rivalry came back, especially with Johnny missing it.
hmm
I did feel some of it, but I think on the fan side, the players on the field, most of them are pretty new to this quote unquote rivalry. So,
yeah.
um, I want to ask you guys about Barajas. So, Barajas got the start, but he came off at halftime for X reason. I don't have the exact reason, and we can definitely uh, like make up something about why he came off. But what do you guys think of his performance? Was it uneventful? Do you remember anything? What I mean, because for me, I'll give you my take real quick. I don't remember anything about Barajas in that game. In fact, anytime Barajas has started, he's kind of been MIA. I don't know. Give me you guys. What do you guys think?
so for me, Barajas has been, I think he's been kind of absent all season. A little bit of placeholder um mentality, and I think it's I see it in the same way I saw Gomez last season,
Hmm.
where he just hadn't come into himself yet. I don't think Barajas has come to himself yet. There is glimpses of on-field confidence, but it's just not quite there.
Hmm.
It's just like, ugh,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcos, what do you got?
Yeah, definitely. If you remember, I think it was last game or the game before for the Monarchs, he scored for them. So maybe, in my opinion, I feel like maybe Barajas just plays a few more games with the Monarchs, gets that confidence level, be like, okay, yeah, the ball's going in the back of the net, absolutely. Because we kind of saw that last season with Gomez, where he had a couple of goal, maybe an assist, but it was the beginning of this season. That's where he flipped that switch. Okay, yeah, ball's going in the back of the net. Yeah, I'm getting more assists. So it was back in the beginning of the season for Barajas when he had those 2 assists against Vancouver. I was like, okay, maybe this player is actually legit, but it's just been downhill ever since then. Just very inconsistent.
So maybe it brings up a topic of player development. When it becomes a very touchy subject of when to push these young players into harder positions, harder situations. Because Barajas was one of I don't even know if he won an award at the USL level, but he was one of the up and comings. Like
Yeah,
had
he
a
was one of the leading goal scorers for the Charleston Battery last season.
right, and so I wonder if he's going through this year, just like what Luna went through his first 6 months slash first 6 months of last year, um, that kind of transition from USL to MLS.
That's what I'm thinking because especially if he listens to this, I don't want to think I'm just bashing on him.
No, no,
Right?
no.
He's not Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Right.
I like him a lot more. um, I again, it's just coming to his own. I kind of think, yeah, maybe a game or two with the Monarchs as he can fit it in. I actually like that he's getting first team minutes. I think that's going to be, I think that's more beneficial than the Monarchs.
Hmm.
The Monarchs are not producing at the same level, respectively,
Right.
to RSL. Not even close.
Yeah. And I'm kind of wondering. I know this was more out of necessity. This wasn't like a hey, he earned it. At least
Yeah.
I don't think. But right now, giving him minutes as a sub, the last 15, 20 minutes of a game, I think that's where Barajas resides right now. If we give him
Because
any more, he kind of just
we
disappears.
we saw what happened when Julio came off the bench for several years. He kind of grew that confidence, and now Julio every so often is a starter. And Julio, I feel like, has more confidence as a starter than what he was in past years.
Before, yeah, I mean, if we're comparing Julio now to Julio 3 years ago, he's more of a confident starter. Um, I wouldn't call him our starter still,
Mm-mm.
No,
but
for sure, for sure.
but he definitely can fill in a spot for a game or two, just like what he's been doing for the past couple of games because of Crooks's absence for 2 games, and
For injury purposes.
for injury purposes for injuries, man, that was bad. But so this game highlighted a lot of well, first off, a lot of goals. But more specifically, Crooks got his first goal. Holy cow. I say holy cow very unenthusiastically. I should say with more enthusiasm. Holy cow. um what do you guys think of him finally getting his goal?
Well, let me. I got that mistaken. Crooks sat out for the Montreal game, not this game. My bad. But
He didn't start though.
he didn't start. But
Sure.
I think that's what everybody's been expecting all season. A snap down header like that. It literally looked like an alley oop in basketball. I was like, man, this is literally easy. Somebody just threw it up and just slam dunk. I was like, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the boost in confidence that he needed to. I think it was to prove to himself that he can compete in MLS because
Yeah.
he's again. I think he's finding out like a lot of Europeans that come over to the United States to play who are like, oh, it's MLS. Yeah, you come over and like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, but he's stuck with it,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and he finally got that goal, and now he's like, okay, I'm here. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and we've seen him play all season with that kind of confidence too. At least I have. He gets into places. He makes good passes, creates space. Um, and I think when we signed him on, a lot of the fan base expected him to be scoring goals like a 10, like an attacking midfielder. But I think this is
That's not what he was doing at all in for England at all.
no.
No,
I mean, not for England, but in England.
in England.
Can you imagine? We got ourselves an English national on our team. Yeah, right.
I mean,
No,
with
but
how they're
he's
playing right now, he might as well be.
no, but I like the style that he's been bringing to this club. He just sets everybody up, sets Gomez, sets Chicho up, and he was like, okay, I've been setting you up, Chicho, all season. Okay, give me one this time in exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. This one had the XG also super high, almost at 3 each one. That was nuts. Also the let's just say going back to your Beavers point, Marcos, Beavers
Hmm.
was on fire, especially with the fact that first half Kansas City had 14 shots, second
Yeah.
half they had 13 shots. That was ridiculous. And that's what kind of worried me during this game was the fact that they were on the front foot the whole time. But we didn't park the bus, but we weren't on the front foot.
Well, a big part of that had to do with the injuries on our back line. Obviously, no Glad. Catranis came off the bench for Oviedo in the second half. Brody started this one, but then he came off. Hidalgo came in. So I think that had to do a big part of it because different back line that we're not used to. Quinton, that was his first time, I believe, playing with Vera this season. So those two aren't familiar with how each other play. So
And I don't want to leave this game without mentioning that Luna got his 2 assists as well
Oh,
to Gomez and to Julio. And they shouldn't be very small accomplishments either. These things these plays were huge, especially with what we're talking about and the fact that we are down our center backs. We weren't playing up to a level that we should be, and yet Diego was able to make a play out of nothing, and find an open Gomez and an open Julio for what for me were two great shots.
And that's a part of Luna's development that I think that has been so undervalued this season, which a lot of fans have recognized, and especially with the calls for him to join the Olympic team, is his ability to read the play and his ability to play make this year has just grown exponentially. And that if they awarded a silver boot for assists, man.
I mean, and I'll be the first to confess that heck, Marcos was. I'm going to throw you under the bus too. We were Luna haters. Well, I won't even say haters. We just didn't think that he was all the hype when we first started this podcast last year, because that's when he was he just had barely gone off to the World Cup, and when he came back, that's when he was starting to catch fire. Before that World Cup, he was nothing. He didn't do a lot for us, and so that's where his development has been so crucial the last half of last season and this season. After now that he's doing better than he was the first couple months, this kid has all the potential to be a really great center midfielder for any team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with having these 2 assists in this KC game, I definitely think he's just checking those boxes, letting the coaching staff know for the national team, like, hey, I deserve to be on this Olympic squad. I hope you're watching.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Any other thoughts on this game, guys?
Glad we
It
got
was
the
scrap-
results, but
Yeah, scrappy. We got 3 points.
yeah.
At the end of this game, we are still on top of the Western Conference, so that should have given us enough confidence for LA. So let's get into this LA game.
Uh,
Yeah, is that really what we're doing this now?
uh,
Okay, so let's talk. I mean,
let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's do it.
okay, so the thing about the loss for me, I mean, it's always disappointing to lose.
Mhm.
The thing that actually bugs me is not the team's reaction to the loss. It's
Okay.
the fans' reaction to the loss. A lot of
boy.
people acting like, oh, we lost. It's over. We're done.
There were a lot of those.
There's a lot of that, and that's a dangerous position to take, but I get where the fans are coming from. We've been riding a high for so long, and now it's over, and it's like, oh, that's it. That's it. It's over. And
Yeah.
I think what Marcos and I saw at the presser afterwards, obviously, Andres Gomez was very sad.
Mhm.
Very sad and disappointed. And but Pablo Mastroeni had the right responses to address. He's like, we lost. It sucks. We have the pressure's off. We can rebuild and start again. Rebuild in the sense of rebuilding the confidence of the team, saying, hey, now that we have this massive monkey off our back, we can just focus on producing results.
Mhm.
And I think that's the mark of any great coach, any great Pablo Mastroeni gives way better answers to anything than Greg Berhalter does. Greg Berhalter, yeah, I'm shouting you out, Greg.
Do it.
He gives excuses. Pablo says, this is what we did wrong. This is where we could have been better. This is what we're going to do moving forward. He accepts responsibilities for the results and recognizes that the team also bears the responsibility as well. I was like, this is where we fell flat. This is where I think we could have done better. So this is what we're going to work on moving forward. This game, a lot of it, the Galaxy prepared well. But losing Chicho, I think, shook the team up a bit, which led to the inability to finish. But it also, sorry, and I know I'm talking a lot right now. I'll throw it to Marcos in just a second. I think it also speaks to how competitive the top of the West is.
Mhm.
And we don't necessarily give enough credit there, which we hate to do, but we don't give enough credit there because this game could have gone either way very easily.
Yep, absolutely. Marcos.
Yeah.
Before Marcos forgets his thoughts.
No, absolutely. I feel like this game showed that with losing Chicho, this team is really dependent solely on Chicho. Obviously, he has 16 goals this season, but it's just right when we lost him in that 15th, 17th minute, I can't remember what exactly it was. He came off in the
15th.
21st, 15th. Thank you. It just shows you, like, yes, that was our third game in a week, or it's just so much stress, so much pressure having to go 3 games, two on the road, and then here at home. It's just a lot on your feet, a lot running. So you could tell by the end of the game, Gomez was absolutely gassed. Gomez was walking. Luna looked absolutely furious. Luna was probably the most pissed at anybody. Walking to the tunnel. I don't blame him. We had so many chances off the post. Julio going wide, but what can you do when you're literally have a player suspended, injuries? But I think the team showed grit, but not enough to at least pull away for a draw.
Not gonna lie, I was waiting for the draw because I mean we saw it against Dallas, we saw it against Seattle, we saw it against Colorado. We saw the team have that, but just like
I told Christian towards the end of this game, like right after LA scored, I was like, I will take 1 point at home because with injuries, with suspensions, a point would be a win at this point.
I think going back to Christian's point on with having the monkey on our back, that was a huge monkey because one, we broke our own personal record with 15 games. But if you so when you compare it to teams like Argentina, you guys remember Argentina's streak, 36 games unbeaten. 36. That's ridiculous at an international level. I think the record's 39 if I'm not mistaken. But losing to Saudi Arabia, and I'm not trying to compare LA to Saudi Arabia because obviously the disparity between Argentina and Saudi Arabia is nothing with RSL and LA. RSL and LA are equal, whereas Argentina and Saudi Arabia are not. But I don't know if you guys have seen the clip about from Scaloni after the game talking to his coaching staff in the van. He says, we needed this loss. There was a huge monkey on our back, just like what Christian was saying. And having that monkey lifted off our back, it has now given us the freedom and the breath of fresh air that we need in order to go. And he said, if I remember the phrase right, he says, and every team should watch out for us after this. So I think we should be thinking the same thing. Every team should be watching out now because now we don't have to worry about extending a streak. We are literally starting with a clean slate, and with how good we are, I think we're unstoppable.
There's a lot of good things coming here soon, I think. I actually think it was good for us to see where we're weak. And I think it's good for us, especially we're still only halfway through the season, which is awesome. It is awesome that we're only halfway through the season. We've got only we've got a small amount of losses, a healthy amount of draws, and now we can say, okay, we're halfway through the year. This is where we're weak. This is where we're good. Let's reinforce where we're good and build up where we're weak. I mean, taking a look at, the entire LA game, one thing that this team did is that they did not quit. I think they got emotional, a little erratic at times. The passing wasn't great all the time. Silly yellow cards. Still good chances. Heck, even at the end of the game with Bodie's shot, 2 degrees lower on his angle, screamer into the top of the net.
Yeah.
Like this team does not quit.
Yeah. In fact, I love the fact that with this team, our defense are not afraid to take shots. We had, I think Oviedo even took a shot, but Catranis take shots. You just mentioned Brody, sorry. But I love how everyone is getting involved. Whereas maybe a couple years past, it was literally defense, midfield, forwards, and the forwards were the only ones that were attacking, and we only had 2. So, I'm loving the team right now. Now, I have I guess what we'll call a side conversation. So, um, because of where I was this Saturday on the field with the referees, I got a chance to have a small conversation with the referees. I mean, I talk with them all the time, but this, just so you guys know, this crew was like very quiet, very serious. Because Jair, you guys know, he's a very serious person. When talking to him on a personal level, like how we talk, he's the nicest guy on this planet. Like we had really nice conversation. But
Sometimes you wouldn't expect that off the field, but it's true.
it's true. It's true. But they said the moment where Chicho and Cáceres got injured, that took the wind out of the game. Period. It just that injury, because the referees were expecting something like up here, elevated. But when those 2 left the field, it just sank. And it's not saying that Cáceres, he's not like a huge influential player for LA anyways, but the fact that that injury just sucked the wind out of the stadium is it worries me as a fan, because here we go, my fandom rant. So, down on the field, and I'm gonna take it from like an emotional side of this. The Galaxy fans that were up in the corner were louder than the whole stadium. I could hear them from the midfield table. So what does that mean? That means the players were hearing those fans as well. Pre-game, I threw out a post on the Salt Lake Till I Die group and on Facebook, and I said, hey, I think we should like try to chant, like do an Olay chant, like try to motivate the crowd before the game. A couple of comments were telling me, why don't you do it? Well, guess what? I was on the field. I was working with the referees. Can't start it, because you bet your bottom dollar, if I was in the stands, I'd be starting it. I'd be trying to get everyone motivated. But how come this can't happen? What's happening? So it goes to my third point. I have 5, by the way, 5. So third point. It almost seems like people are going to the stadium to have a stadium experience instead of creating their own stadium experience. Meaning they're not the ones that are singing. They're not the ones that are waiting to cheer people on. They are waiting for everyone else to create that atmosphere. Which, and I'm more speaking towards the people that aren't season ticket holders, but there are season ticket holders that are just sitting there because they want to enjoy a game. Well, guess what? Enjoying the game is being part of the whole thing. So helping create that experience. Fourth, kind of goes in tandem with everything. The South End is doing everything that they can. They're singing the whole time. They're chanting the whole time. But what is the rest of the stadium doing? And
Section 12 used to be loud.
Section 12 used to be loud. And I hate
26 here and there. They're standing the whole time.
35.
That's 35. Excuse me.
Yeah, 35. 26 is in the corner. But I don't want to call out any sections here. I'm not going to do it. But there are sections that I think are by word of mouth. They are super fans. They're Salt Lake Till I Die. But are they really? What does it mean to be Salt Lake Till I Die? I mean, for me, it means that in the good times and the bad, you will cheer. You keep cheering. You'll keep yelling. I saw on Saturday's game, when things got bad, things got a little quieter. What happened to the fan base that was at the Colorado game? Christian, you weren't there, right?
No, he was there. Christian was there.
Oh yeah. So what happened to that fan base? What happened to when we were down 3-2? I mean, we were only down 1-0, guys. 1-0 in the 75th minute. We still had 15 minutes to come back and do something. And it's not like we sat on our laurels either. We didn't sit back. We were still attacking. Just there wasn't that Colorado atmosphere again. Yeah. And LA is one of our classic rivals too. I don't know what happened Saturday.
Yeah, I've just been kind of scratching my head ever since, because the Austin game, kind of the same thing. Like, yeah, we won 5-1 there, but just not real the same atmosphere ever since that Colorado game. Fans leaving early, nobody showing up on time.
Mm-hmm.
Just everybody's expecting the South just to be starting all the chants, making all the noise. When we score, that's the only time we cheer. When we have a free kick and things get close, we go, ah, but everything just dies down. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
keep that passion, keep that enthusiasm for the whole 90 minutes, not for a a small portion when we score and then it just gets quiet after that.
I've never done drugs, but from what I heard, they usually say the first hit is like the best, and then after that it just goes downhill from there. I wonder if that Colorado game was our hit. And we just want that. We're like longing for that hit like every single game. I don't know.
But the fans make the experience.
Definitely.
Because I mean, you could have a stadium full of people and it's as quiet as a tennis match.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
fans make the experience. So if the fans want a better experience, like you said, they have to make it. And talk about cheering for a team, whether if they're good or bad. Other sports that I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of like Utah. My alma mater, Utah State, the Houston Texans, the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Not historically, like the Jazz had been historically all right. They were contenders back in the 90s. The Texans consistently not great. And so, and I literally had people ask me, like, they're like, wait, you're a Texans fan? Why? Why wouldn't you pick, why wouldn't you switch teams? And unfortunately in Utah, sometimes there's a bit of a bandwagon mentality
Mm-hmm.
that I'm only gonna be a fan when the team is good. When the team's not good, you know?
Yeah, when the team's not good, I'm not gonna go to the stadium. Why go to the stadium?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And again, it's all about the energy that you bring. And I think there's honestly a direct correlation to the fans being excited and loud cheering the team on and the players performing well. Because like you said, Chicho went out, down and out.
Yep. All of it
And
sucked out.
energy kind of died and the team suddenly couldn't put shots on frame and it just wasn't quite there anymore.
Mm-hmm. So then could we nonchalantly say that this loss is on the fans?
I guess if you jokingly, yes, but obviously it's
No.
on. It's not. But
Yeah. No biggie. So
obviously, this Chicho injury hurts. The 20 stitches, that's quite the doozy. His Harry Potter scar. But what I liked is obviously with Chicho getting stitches, having to get that treated. I like the fact that he was bandaged up. Team took a loss. They're obviously sitting down, head slumped. He goes straight to Bodhi Hidalgo, helps him get up, and realize, hey, this loss sucks. Let's get up. Let's suck it up, and just helps his teammates and just like, hey, let's walk this one off.
yep, clean sheet. So let's try to leave that game on a positive note. We'll just like Chicho's lifting everyone up. We're gonna lift ourselves up out of this, and we're gonna go into just maybe give us each one of us are gonna give a little bit of a RSL news bit that we've been looking at that interests us or that we've seen the past couple of days. So, Christian, what do you got for us that
Okay.
is RSL related?
So I've got a little bit of a juicy one here.
Okay.
Obviously, one of the biggest holes exposed is that we don't really have a true striker if we lose Chicho. However, in 5 days, Rubio Rubin comes home.
Oh.
And so the question is, we all know what Marcos thinks clearly, but the question is, do we bring him back into the team or do we sell him off, open up that slot and bring in a striker from somewhere else? Because I think personally, if we don't keep Rubio Rubin, we need a seasoned, proven striker who can back up Chicho. We've got people developing. I'm not worried about the development, but seasoned striker who can perform and has results.
Well, Rubio, I think how much of salary cap is he taking? He's taking like 650. or something like
So
that.
his current market value is 1.1 million.
Or it's
That's
a
it.
million.
Well, well, no, that's his market value, but like
Yeah.
on our roster, he's taking, I think it's like 600, 650, somewhere around there. Now,
I think
that's a lot of money.
we can definitely find a solid European striker that can come off the bench.
Yeah, that's the key. We can't. I think we've understood. At least I've understood from what Kurt has said, what Christ has said, that the players that they're looking at they're not looking for them to be starters.
No,
So,
absolutely, absolutely.
but I can see the probably the benefit of keeping Rubio on the roster and keeping him with us right now, especially when we're um needing some help. Now, what do we do with him? I think if we bring him back, you keep him on the roster for another 6 months, you release him at the end of the year or sell him off. That way you can get someone fresh at the beginning of the season. Boom. Because right now, adding players to a roster that's jiving is super difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, and I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, but it's very difficult to find players that can gel. And I think Kurt was saying that with Spence, that
Mhm.
by the way, it's thundering and lightning over here if you can't hear anything.
Lucky.
Oh, jealous, very jealous.
um so Kurt was saying that that they're looking for players that can gel well with the players that we have. Obviously, I mean, it's almost like stating the obvious there, but it's super important. And Spence asked him, so are you even asking the players' opinions on this? And Kurt said no.
Which I was kind of surprised about that. Like I was expecting them to say, be like, yeah, we bring in Chicho, we bring in Vera, whomever, just to get their opinion. But no, not at all.
They only bring in the players' opinions if the player has played with them or has played against them in the same league or they're from the same country. So, I mean, interesting. But from a personal standpoint, I would see more benefit in keeping Rubin on the roster and helping us out.
So do you not want RSL to go after and pick somebody up in this transfer window, or
I'm just
where are your
saying,
He
thoughts
didn't
there?
say that.
no, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that right now I find more benefit in it because it's really hard to bring someone from outside who doesn't know our system, who doesn't know our players. Rubio knows our players, knows our system. He just he's not the greatest striker, but
He has got, I think the majority of his confidence, honestly, has come from the international level. He's performed decently well on the international level. Now, the
yeah,
problem is he could be a Shaqiri.
exactly.
He could be a Hymus.
I mean, he's kind of just yeah, he's definitely second rated in terms of strikers in the league, but I think right now it seems more probable, I think, in my opinion, that we'd keep him on the roster as a backup instead of going out and looking for someone. So I don't know. Marcos, what do you got for us?
Yeah, today I was at RSL practice. They took Monday, Tuesday off just to rest and recover from their Saturday game. So today was their first practice back. Chicho had a whole head wrapped. He literally looked like Memphis Depay, his bright orange headband. So that was
Heck
pretty. You could not miss him a mile away. Um, Holt practicing with the team. Marcelo Silva was practicing off to the side with a trainer.
Oh,
So that is actually good
Mhm.
news because we are in desperate need of center backs at the moment. Glad, from what I heard, probably about a couple more weeks, unfortunately. So
eek.
I don't expect Glad probably for Wednesday, Saturday next week at all.
Yeah. I mean, I from when you told me that, I was thinking we're not going to see Glad until League's Cup, which would be totally fine with me. I mean, I'd want him more 100% healed than have him play at 75, 80% and risk more injury.
Yeah,
Mhm.
at this point, even if Glad does make the All Star team, the starters, I wouldn't want him starting. Not
I
at
don't,
all.
I don't, yeah,
Even if he's coming off injury, no.
I don't think Pablo would even let him. I don't think the team would even let him. Um, but I did you see Pablo Ruiz at practice? Do you remember
Pablo Ruiz was doing Pablo Ruiz stuff. Standing
drinking
next to us,
mate?
drinking some mate, talking about life. So
Was he really?
yeah, we were talking about the Argentina game yesterday. So
I don't believe you. You speak Spanish?
Hey, we were
Speaking in Spanglish.
speaking to Spanglish.
Okay, that's so funny. Because I mean, I say that because I was talking to him on Saturday as well. So the good thing is that me and you don't look alike, so it's not like he doesn't feel like he's being attacked by the same family.
Until
Um,
he sees this episode.
till he sees this episode. Speaking of Pablo Ruiz, uh, my little update is that with that conversation that I had with him on the sideline, yes, I asked him about Mate because that's the natural icebreaker. But I did ask him about his injury, about his development. He's as tight-lipped as Jason, so there's not much I can say here. But I did say, "Hey, do you think you're gonna be back by September, October?" Because he says that he's in the gym, he's running now,
Mhm.
and so when I asked him that, he says, "Only God knows." So I'm like,
It's facts. Facts. You
I,
you
I,
can't
I
you can't rush a man trying to come back from injury. So when
no,
No,
he's
it's true.
healthy, he's healthy.
yep, exactly. So and
Only
yeah.
only scary thing I see on that though
Hmm.
is that his contract is up in December.
Um, and not only is his contract up, but we've now found that Anelli and Palacio play really well in his position. So, um, what do we do, guys?
Oh, resign, resign.
You think resign
Yeah.
Christian?
Interesting. I I could see it going either way, to be completely honest. I would love to resign him and keep him. Do we need him though? Not necessarily.
Now,
Well,
Um,
I like Pablo
the,
for the fact that he is more of an attacking defensive mid compared to Ojeda's not really as much.
attacking defensive mid, that's just a central midfielder.
attacking defensive midfielder.
But we
Attacking.
take a look coming up this offseason, there's a few honestly we may be able to offload. Tomas Gomez,
Get rid of him.
um, Bodie Davis,
Get
maybe.
No, that's Hidalgo.
Oh, duh, that is Hidalgo. What?
Ah, because they still have him listed as Davis.
Um, I do have to say, quick backup here. I do absolutely want to shout out Noel Kalisken. I
Yeah,
Mhm.
think for his official first team debut, I thought he played well. It took him a second to get into it, but when he had the ball on the field, he had control. He completed his passes. He was good defensively. He won his challenges. He did what he needed to.
can I say something maybe not as nice about Noel? Um,
Sure.
so let me just make sure I have my facts straight here, though. Um, so let's go Major League Soccer. So he's played unofficially for us, well, quite a few games, but this season he's played in 4 games. Okay,
Mhm.
he has not won one game with us. He has 1 tie and 3 losses. So all 3 losses, he has touched the field.
Oh shoot, that's not great. Not great.
I'm just saying, I'm not actually,
Yeah,
I'm all about superstition.
Well, he's the sub that comes in for the garbage time when we had injuries and
Well,
such.
well, kind of. And sorry, when with the draw against St. Louis back in February, he didn't see the field. He was just on the bench. But Miami, he saw time.
Yep.
Our loss against the Rapids, he saw 81 minutes. He started that game, and then this last
mm,
game. So technically, literally, anytime he's touched the field, we've lost this season.
fair.
So
Also, Thought Mob giving Chicho a 5.9 for only 15 minutes of play.
yeah, because he got injured.
That's not a 5.9. That's not fair.
You get injured,
Fu-
1 point loss.
I was like, FOMOB is never fair because when times when players have gotten a hat trick, it's never a 10 according to them.
I've never seen a 10. Have any of you?
Have you
No.
looked in the mirror?
Ah!
Oh, positivity. Burn.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I threw that lob up to Christian and he just slam dunked that one.
Oh my gosh. Before I get any more embarrassed with you guys, let's get into international ball because we like international ball.
Because Argentina won yesterday. That's right.
Argentina won yesterday, but all right, guys, let's focus on two teams because there's a ton of teams, but let's just focus on Argentina and the U.S. for right now. Okay, 3 games in total, 2 for Argentina, 1 for the U.S.
U.S. plays tomorrow as of this episode.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. So let's go with the U.S. thoughts real quick because there's only one game, and then Argentina thoughts, and then maybe we might wrap it up. Let's go, Marcos. What do you got for USA thoughts?
Yeah, obviously USA, they're playing a, I guess, weaker South America team in Bolivia. So it was expected for them to come out with a strong win. So very, very impressed. Pulisic, great goal off that corner kick. So they came out guns blazing. Second half, not so much. They kind of like put on the brakes, if you will, but still very impressive. The fans, where were the fans? Like you're in 100,000 seat stadium in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, and only like 40,000 showed up. So not impressed.
It's
Come on,
Dallas. They don't show up.
yeah, USA fans, you could do better there.
Christian, what do you got?
I agree. The first half by the U.S. was exactly what needed to happen. And kind of, I think the subs kind of killed the vibe a little bit in the second half. I believe it did make some tactical adjustments to counter the U.S. a bit, but honestly, they didn't have a chance. Like
Yeah.
they didn't. So overall, first half, I'd give like an 8 out of 10 for the U.S. Exactly what needed to be done. Second half, 5 out of 10. So just
Yeah.
kind of, they honestly, for the U.S. to they should have made a bigger statement with that game.
They really should have, and I think that's what I got from most of the commentaries online is that this wasn't the grand game that everyone expected the U.S. to. I mean, if you're looking at I'm going to use the word disparity again, between an 11th ranked U.S. and an 84th ranked Bolivia, you're expecting a 4-0, 5-0 whomping. But I think play was not as sharp. I mean, granted, there were. It's not because of lack of shots. 20 shots, 8 on goal. It wasn't for that. I think it was just lack of quality and lack of discipline. So, they have a tough one coming up next, against a familiar foe. And I think that's what's going to be killer. I think personally.
It's gonna be a dangerous game because it seems like Panama always has the USA's numbers. So this, in a sense, could be a definitely trap game. Panama obviously needs this win. They lost their first game to Uruguay 3-1. So yeah, the fact that Panama could sneak away a goal against Uruguay just shows that they're a sneaky good team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say good, but there's possibilities of the U.S. having a struggle against Panama again because they're known foes.
Yeah,
it's a much closer rated match. It'll be a challenge. I think the U.S. would have to be satisfied with a draw. Now, would I prefer that they win? Absolutely.
Of course.
But
I can see a draw happening. I can see more of a victory happening for the U.S., but a draw is not out of the realm of possibilities. And I'll even say there's a large percentage chance of a loss as well.
Yeah, you can't count. I mean, I was talking to a coworker today, and I would honestly, if you were to stack rank the North American teams, I would still say U.S. first, followed by Mexico, followed by Canada. I would say followed by Canada, and then I would probably say Panama.
And I might throw in another team in there, Panama and Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, yeah.
I was say they made some noise.
That was nuts. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but that was nuts. That got me. Some people were saying, man, we could go with like tangents everywhere here. Some people were now saying that the ties, the tie against England in the World Cup and the tie against Brazil are looking less impressive now
Oh yeah, definitely.
because of how low quality England and Brazil are playing right now.
Yeah.
But
Which
after
which does that mean that does that lower our quality?
Or have we just gotten better as a region?
Kind of like that.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
I would say it's a little bit moving upwards. Yeah.
Hmm. I can see it. I can see it.
But
But
moving over to Argentina, obviously that first game Argentina Canada, I would say Canada is a little bit better than Mexico because I feel like Canada did their homework because game tied 0-0.
I told you not to underrate Canada.
no, there was no. I I was not. I have them coming out second of that group.
Like that Canada came prepared. They did their homework. Because I told Alan, I was like, what is one way for Canada to stop Argentina? Just defense.
Yeah,
St-
it's literally just plugging up the holes. That's all it is. I mean, yeah, it sounds funny, but I mean that's all you have to do is close the gaps with
Yeah.
Argentina. Period.
yeah.
Once you close the gaps, Argentina is forced to go out to the wings and try to cross it in, which we are not an aerial team.
Yeah, McAllister with his unfortunate collision of a goal, but
Well, and that's what Chile did to Argentina last night.
Hmm.
mhm,
They
yeah.
they shut down the gaps and forced more crosses in, and one eventually got in.
Man, I can't tell you how frustrating that was. I was
Oh,
so frustrated. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we only scored one, but we had an XG of almost 3.
20,
And
20 shots. 20
and,
shots does
and
that.
and don't be fooled by the Chilean sports channels because if you guys watch it, they're saying that yeah, we had a really good second half. Like we held our own in the first half, but we really came out and we started attacking in the second half. Second half they had 3 shots on goal the whole half compared to Argentina's second half where they had 9. And the whole game Argentina had 22. Who's attacking? So,
Except you know what this means for Argentina? Come
hmm,
Saturday when they play Peru, they can just rest all their players. They can throw in all the bench guys, Garnacho and everybody else. So no
oh,
needs to worry.
and Peru's they've got to have almost no morale left. They were beaten by Canada, which
And they got a red card too. So
I mean, by principle, except for maybe Bolivia and Paraguay, maybe.
hmm.
South American teams losing to a North American team, that's a
Yeah.
massive insult.
that's a slap. That's a slap.
I mean, we're watching it right now. Ecuador is still beating Jamaica 2-1 right now.
Oh,
So
Jamaica got a goal. Oh,
yeah,
that's
Jamaica got to go.
They're putting up a fight.
They are putting up a
uh,
fight, but well, shoot, this Copa America is gonna be a fun one. Obviously, Euros is still going on. I have no comments on the Euros except for that Holland game yesterday was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
That was
And
awesome.
you know,
and Georgia, I got to shout out
yeah,
little
yeah.
old Eastern Europe, Georgia,
You gotta give all the love to Georgia. Georgia
putting
is
down overrated Portugal. I'm not saying Portugal is not good, but they are
no.
absolutely overrated.
I feel like any day that Ronaldo loses,
It's a great day.
it's a great day. It's a great day.
We just lost all of our Ronaldo fan listeners. All right.
Bye.
I was like, Messi won yesterday. Ronaldo lost today. So we're having a good week of soccer so far, you guys. So
Great week, great week.
great week.
All right.
But unfortunately,
Any other thoughts?
RSL doesn't play this week, but still watch as much soccer as you guys can. We got Copa this weekend. We got Euros knockout round start for the Euros this weekend. MLS soccer for other teams is Saturday, so maybe watch other MLS teams. We got both LA teams. Miami does play this weekend. Cincinnati does play this weekend. So watch those games. Keep up with other
Hope
everybody else.
they lose. Hope they lose.
All right,
Hope
real
they
quick,
lose.
between all of us, give me your score predictions for USA Panama. Christian, go.
USA Panama 2-1 USA.
Nice. Marcos.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
Um, Heck, I'll go.
are you
I'll go.
going?
I'll go. No, I'll go, definitely go 3-1. 3-1 USA.
Ooh,
They'll,
wow.
they'll they'll find a way. They'll find a way. So, oh,
And
and
then
I guess while we're at it, let's do Argentina Peru
4-1 Argentina.
4-1. Oh shoot, Marcos
3-0 Argentina.
3-0. I think we're just gonna keep it simple, especially with bench players. 2-0 Argentina.
Nice, nice.
I'm being a bit cheeky with my prediction. So
Might as well. You're hoping for a Garnacho hat trick.
just one Garnacho goal would be nice.
All right.
He's not a hat trick kind of guy.
I was like, please, Garnacho, satisfy Christian. Well, on that note, everybody,
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Marcos, sign us off.
make sure you guys are following us on Twitter, Instagram at the RSL Bros. Catch all of our RSL content. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple, and follow us. And make sure you guys give us 5 stars. We will catch you guys next week. Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna have to like do like some kind of censoring. Not app for kids. Oh my gosh.
Until next week, guys.
Ciao. Ah.